Welcome to your weekly buzz, presented by Speaking Human.
Here's what's happening this week on the Buzz.
As 2018 closes, many make lists not just for the jolly old elf, but also for their takes on the best of the year. And even though 2018 saw brands hit big and sink low, what was actually the best of the year? The brand with victory in its name, of course, Nike. No brand was on the tongues of more Americans than the apparel company that made a divisive splash with its 30th anniversary Just Do It spot featuring Colin Kaepernick. While that ad was a huge reason it finished first, it wasn't the only reason. Beyond its ads, Nike's revamped consumer approach resulted in double-digit growth in revenue as the brand became less reliant on department stores, instead focusing on its own direct-to-consumer efforts. This led to a new 68,000 square foot store on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. So what's the takeaway? Nike is definitely a winner in 2018. Not only did the brand regain valuable ground in the year, with renewed consumer focus and millennial backing, it made our list. And we all know, Speaking Human makes the best of lists.
Here's what's happening this week on the Buzz.
In the melee of brand marketing, 2018 saw plenty of action. Go figure that one of this year's heavy hitters used the Battle Royale framework to be one of 2018's best. Boasting 200 million players worldwide, Epic Games' Fortnite was not only one of the biggest games of the year, but one of the biggest brands too. Whether you're talking about their almost 6.5 million followers on Twitter, or how online streaming sites such as Twitch registered 104 million hours of Fortnite viewing in September 2018 alone, or that Fortnite became a $1 billion brand even though it's free to play. Yeah, free. The question is, will Fortnite reign supreme in 2019 like it did in 2018? If banks are still issuing credit cards to parents of Fortnite players in the coming year, then we'll take a wild guess that it will continue to demand our attention.
Here's what's happening this week on the Buzz.
It's hard to talk about the most successful brands of 2018 without throwing a pair of mouse ears into the ring. While one might argue every year is a good year for a brand that owns everything from parks and resorts to ESPN to a massive library of beloved intellectual property, at least on the film side of things, 2018 was an exceptionally spectacular year for Disney. Disney lays claim to the top 3 biggest domestic moneymakers of the year: Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, and The Incredibles 2. These 3 movies alone made nearly $2 billion at the US box office and $4.645 billion globally. When you add in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Solo: A Star Wars Story, and the wildly anticipated Mary Poppins Returns, you can see why this behemoth of a brand is in a league of its own as it looks to break its own industry record of grossing $7.6 billion in a single year. And if you thought you might not hear from Disney for a while, you'd be dead wrong. Disney has an absolute murderer's row of blockbusters lined up for 2019. Including Toy Story 4, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Frozen 2, live-action versions of Dumbo and the Lion King, and the next Star Wars. Chances are very good that Disney won't just repeat their stellar year in 2019, they'll freaking blow it away.
And that's your weekly buzz. Get more fresh buzz at speakinghuman.com/buzz.